Normally I open these up with the cold opening of some level of pop culture reference and some type of inkling to reference the car that I'm talking about. Did that make a whole lot of sense? Not necessarily, but I'm gonna go with it. And about 6 months ago, I made a little video that I wasn't gonna release, but here it is. Lucid is that girl and y'all be playing, and I'm here to set the record straight. And that remains true. What's up, guys? Welcome to The Breakdown, where we talk about everything cars news and reviews. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you are not, welcome back. The automotive landscape has been on absolute fire the last couple of months with very interesting concepts being released and new releases come on the horizon. And in the EV world, one of the biggest things to happen is the Lucid Gravity. Now, if you don't know who Lucid is, that's probably not very surprising considering they are a very small but mighty company, and they have made some of the highest accolades that many car companies would only dare dream of. But Lucid is also a victim of its own product. What do I mean by that? Sometimes being too good is a problem. And we're going to explore that. So in this video, let's go ahead and explore the Lucid Gravity, what it is, and why it just may or may not be the best thing for Lucid. With that being said, stick around and stay tuned because you are now watching The Breakdown. If you haven't already and you like this kind of content, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. It definitely means a lot to me and the YouTube algorithm and allows for me to keep making videos just like this. So in recent news, the all-new Lucid Gravity has been unveiled. It is a very unique I can't play the song because, you know, copyright. Anyway, the Lucid Gravity is the embodiment of what happens when you allow your vision to come to fruition. It almost looks as if the Lucid Gravity popped right out of the pages of the Art Center College of Design and right onto the showroom floor. This new Lucid Gravity is completely different, unlike many of the other SUVs, because it does everything right. I'm going to go over the exterior, the interior, the gimmicks, or as I like to call them, the gimmicks. But I'm also going to talk about a lot of things that I think could be a problem in the future. So let's go ahead and take a look into the Lucid Gravity and what Lucid believes will change the SUV EV segment. In terms of the exterior, the Lucid Gravity gives all kinds of California. There is nothing short of the Lucid Gravity that doesn't remind me of the long old school station wagons with a 401k pension and 6 real estate properties. The Lucid Gravity got money, all right? The front, the light blade, the mouth, the curvature, everything about this car flows seamlessly and effortlessly. Lucid has done an amazing job in trying to make sure that they get the most proper coefficient drag of 0.24, which is unheard of for this type of vehicle. They also did an amazing job in trying to create a sense of sensuality as well as a lot of swoopy cursive lines because people don't even draw in cursive no more. But I guarantee you, if I had a Lucid pencil, I probably would write in cursive.
That was a bad joke.
Anyway, the Lucid Gravity has shown us that SUVs, whether 2-passenger or 3-passenger, can be profound. Now, as a quick reference to who Lucid is, Lucid has been around since 2007 as a battery tech company, and then they evolved into a car company in 2016 with the Lucid Air being their first vehicle. Now, I have been on Lucid's case for the last 3 years because when I first heard the numbers of what the Lucid Air could do, I was astonished. Many journalists alike have raved about the Lucid Air, its capabilities, and don't even get me started on the Lucid Sapphire. Unfortunately, Lucid just does not do well with brand reputation, but that's fine. When you see the Lucid Air and you see the Lucid Gravity, it is very unique. It is an identifiable, very easily clockable, whatever you want to call it. That car has presence on the road. Baby, it reminds me of the Rolls Royce of the 1980s, and you had to have real money back then.
Get ready for another incredible lifestyles, your VIP journey into the lives and loves of today's winners who really know how to enjoy the great things of life.
The Lucid Gravity also gives a lot of functionality and off-road ruggedness to some degree. It is very delicate, but it does strike a balance between off-road and on-road, and that is very difficult to do as a car company. The materials that are made, and the size of the vehicle allow it to be sleek in design. And overall, I would argue that this is probably one of the most coolest SUV minivans that I have ever seen in my life. We at one point or another as Americans got away from minivans because we didn't want to look like baby mamas on child number 3. Most men weren't driving them, so I don't really see men driving this car, but this is more so a woman's car, only because of the design and flow lines. But this is very much a man's car if you allow yourself to drive this car. From an interior standpoint, the interior is absolutely phenomenal, plush, and functional. There is a lot of things to talk about. In the Gravity is the functionality of the seating arrangement. I believe they got that from like the Magic seats and kind of re-engineered it to make it seem a little more appealing. The battery as a whole is half the size of a traditional battery, which allows the seats to fold down completely flat to give a much more spacious interior. That's also worth noting that the seats are actually designed to fit several full-size adults, in which case if you've ever been in a 3-row passenger SUV, minivan, whatever, you know that the back seats are terribly cramped. Nobody ever wants to get back there, and if you do get back there, dear God help you. In terms of the cockpit, they have what's called the clear view cockpit, which basically gives you a scenic arrangement of screens that allow you to have ease of drive on the road. And they also have several different modes that put you in a proper headspace when you're driving. Why the we need headspace when we're driving? Because most of us are just driving to the job that we hate is beyond me, but I kind of get it. The other thing to be noted is that this car comes with a lot of technology and a lot of different apps and screens and shenanigans that you probably shouldn't be distracted by on the road, but here we are. The open air top allows for a lot more spaciousness and seemingly open airiness, and to basically give you the effect that this is open air. Think open air concept. I would strike it as, if I was rich, I would probably have this truck. The other thing worth noting is that this comes from a very, very efficient 800 horsepower electric motor that also gets you 440 miles of estimated range, which brings me to the real point of this video. Lucid is an example of what happens when you do everything right too well. Let me explain. So for Lucid, they have been on the scene for the last 7 years. They have been really struggling to give some level of brand identity. To be honest with you, it's because everybody just loves Tesla, and Tesla has become a status symbol for many people to seek after as we deviate from the traditional Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, and Lexuses, and we evolve into EVs, and more people are starting to veer off into those lanes. Tesla has really made a name for themselves as being top motherfucking tier. Rivian, on the other hand, is more so for the truck guys, and a lot of them really enjoy it, and Rivians are just not cheap. There are legacy automakers that make EVs, but they just don't quite stand out like these newer EV companies. Now, I do want to say this much. Lucid offers the most quality, sustainable, and refined engineering and materials that you probably could not get in a Tesla or any other. Now, I don't know that to be entirely true, just a perspective, but Lucid, from their presentations, from their brochures and everything else, I can tell you that Lucid gives me like they really care about their core audience. The problem is that when you do something too well, you start to fight yourself as an automotive company, because now you have to not only make revenues, but also profit. And Lucid is very much an engineering company. They are not a tech company anymore. They are an engineering company in my book. I could be completely wrong. But because they're an engineering company, they are going to do everything they can to see that their vision is sought out and also to please shareholders. Because of that, it's going to be very difficult for Lucid to not only establish itself as a brand to contend with, but also a brand that people associate with luxury. Many people have never heard of Lucid. Most people have only heard of Tesla, and that is from a marketing standpoint because Elon has done an amazing job at branding himself. Branding is key. If nobody ever tells you branding yourself, that's how you get ahead in life. Jim, I'm gonna go ahead and say this much. The Lucid Gravity is a reminder that minivans aren't dead. This is exactly what happens when you have a minivan that has evolved into an SUV that is capable of going off-road just as it is going to soccer practice. And I truly believe that if enough core audience demographics are hit with this car, it will be a smash hit. But if nobody knows about it, it will be a flop. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Lucid Gravity, if you think it'll do well, if you think it's hot, or if you think it's a not. And with that being said, until the next video, I will see you guys later.